currently on the call with a man that you've probably seen in MLW, Chicago, Midwest Wrestling Elite, and all over. His name is Airwolf. Airwolf, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, Airwolf, you are 19 years old and you've been featured in so many promotions and on various platforms. Do you ever have time to just sit back and reflect on what you've done so far, so early on in your career?
Yeah, sometimes I think about it, man, and it's really crazy because like not that long ago I was watching a lot of the dudes I'm in the ring with on TV, and this is stuff I like grew up on watching, like the PWGs, and then having the opportunity to be in the ring with people like that is just crazy.
Okay, so correct that you trained under Ken Anderson and Sean Devari, right?
Yeah, I trained at the academy. I was the first graduate there. It was Ken Anderson, Sean Davari, Eric Cannon, Molly Holly, and Arya Davari.
Okay, so what were you able to? Well, what tools were you able to pick up from them, from their wealth of knowledge in professional wrestling?
See, the thing with the academy was at my time having all those coaches there, each of them I felt like brought a little something different to the table. You know, people like Ken Anderson and Sean Davari, they kind of, for the most part, their career was under the WWE banner, so they're more familiar with the sports entertainment side. But then having a man like Eric Cannon, as well respected as he is in the business, on an independent scene level, like he just knows his way around the independents and how to get to certain places.
So
So I feel like that was really helpful.
yeah, understandable, understandable. That's good that you got that experience with those high profile names. While mentioning high profile names, have there been any wrestlers that you've been able to share a locker room with, or that have been of assistance to your career, who have had a great wealth of experience other than Mr. Kennedy, Ken Anderson, or Sean Davari, or Molly Ollie?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a few people that I've even had the opportunity to step in the ring with, dudes I really look up to. Like one guy who's always been really cool with me is DJZ. Since the moment I first met him, I worked him, and he's always been really great helping me out with advice and been a super cool dude to me. And it helps because he's actually like one of like my favorite dudes to watch growing up. So getting to meet him in person and him being as cool as he is, that was awesome.
Speaking of DJZ, I know he's a former AAW Heritage Champion. I recently spoke to TJ Perkins, and he had a lot of great things to say about AAW, and I've heard a lot of wrestlers say a lot of good things about AAW. I know this isn't your first go around with the promotion. Can you speak about what makes AAW so special and why so many wrestlers seem to have like these just positive thoughts about that promotion?
Yeah, absolutely. AAW, I think of it as kind of like an all-star game of like the Midwest. Like there's a lot of the top talent in the world coming to this one spot to compete, and that's a level where you want to be at, especially for a guy like myself. You want to always wrestle people that are better than you because that's how you improve. So, like going to AAW and getting the opportunity to wrestle these dudes is going to help me improve like tenfold, just like that.
Surely, surely. I did wanted to gauge your thoughts about the current state of the independent wrestling scene. You know, you have various wrestlers, getting signed exclusively to WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW. Some wrestlers signing exclusive contracts with New Japan. What would I just your general thoughts about the state of the independent wrestling scene? Have you yourself received any looks from any of those aforementioned companies?
Oh yeah, dude, wrestling's at a great state right now. I mean, you have things like AEW that's providing an alternative to like WWE, and both things are great. Like wrestling's just great all around. New Japan's killing it right now. You have cool stuff in Mexico. Like on every level, I think wrestling right now is starting to get hot again.
Definitely, definitely. I know you recently worked MLW show at Cicero Stadium. You took on Ace Austin. How was that experience for you, and how do you think that match played out?
Oh, dude, it was great. Ace Austin is extremely underrated. He does a lot of unorthodox stuff. I think Ace Austin definitely is going to be a major star on the independents in these coming years.
While mentioning MLW, they recently announced that in November they'll be hosting their first pay-per-view event called Saturday Night Super Fight. It'll be on Fight. I saw Direct TV and a few other cable satellite operators and providers. Can you just speak about the like what Court Bauer, his team, and the wrestlers that have been brought in to work MLW, like what have you like what has it been like for you guys to see the growth of MLW and to now realize that just in a couple of months, it's going to be live on pay per view?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like everyone in MLW, they all work so hard. They all have faith and they all put in their hard efforts into the MLW product to make sure it's something that we can be proud of. And dude, it's crazy the fact that we're going to be on pay-per-view in just a few months. And I obviously haven't been with the company long, but just seeing the growth just from there to like the point where we're going to be on pay-per-view in a few months, dude, it's great.
I say now one move I have seen you execute in MLW is that bottom rope 619. Obviously that's a head nod to Rey Mysterio. But what made you decide that I'm going to go through the bottom rope instead of going through the middle rope like everybody else does?
So one thing with me is I really like to be innovative. I like to show people things they haven't necessarily seen before. So if it's like a move I think I've seen before, like such something as signature as like a 619 is obviously like related to Rey Mysterio. Whenever you think of it, you think of Rey Mysterio. Not that I'm trying to make them not think of Rey Mysterio, because usually I
Yeah.
do call that move the Mysterio low. But I definitely like to be innovative. I do a couple other moves that, like I do a step through shooting star press that I call the lunar eclipse.
Mm.
So I really try to just innovate. So that'll help me stand out in the long run.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I know you and your partner or close friend or Angel Dorado. You guys appear to have very good chemistry. Can you speak about you guys' partnership and or friendship?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So actually, like even though he doesn't look like it, Angel Dorado is actually he's my little brother. He's
Uh,
a year younger than me.
wow.
Yeah, dude, he's like crazy talented. I'm hoping that he's gonna like just blow up soon, cause like he's he's a really good diver and like can just do a lot of insane body control stuff. And I honestly, like with all my heart, believe he has the potential to become like the top high flyer in the world.
Wow, that's great. That's great high
It,
praise coming from his big brother, his big bro. That's real cool to hear that. You got that kind of support and belief in him that he'll go and do great things. I do want to
yeah,
ask you just a fun question here. Let's say 5 years from now, where do you see yourself in wrestling, or should I rather say, what would your Wikipedia page look like 5 years from now in terms of accomplishments and places you worked and what you've done in wrestling up until that point?
dude, there's so many places I want to go. It's like ridiculous to even list. Right now, I want to like be a regular at AAW for
Mm,
sure.
mm.
I definitely want to go to PWG. That's one of my goals in the long run. Maybe Ring of Honor. I want to go overseas for sure. I feel like getting to learn that technical side in like the UK or like going to Japan. That's definitely on my list of things to do in wrestling.
So you would like to like go basically and try all the various styles of wrestling and see how many guys you can mix it up with, and just basically you want to test yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I want to be as well rounded as I can. I want to like fly with the people in Mexico. I want to be able to grapple with the people in the UK. I want to be able to trade strikes with the people in Japan. I just want to be as well rounded as possible and really just make a living out of this comfortably.
For sure, for sure. Are there any guys that you look at, not necessarily look up to, but more so, look at a certain guy or a woman and say, uh, well, they're really good wrestlers. I like to sort of, pay attention to what they do or see what kind of moves they pull off.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, two dudes that I really like to watch are Shane Strickland is probably like my number one dude to watch. I just like the way he moves and he does like really unique stuff. It's based around like military training and martial arts. It's a lot of unique stuff that you don't necessarily see. And then another guy I really like to watch is actually ACH.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does the really cool moves and stuff. He has like crazy moves, and then on top of that, if you watch ACH's matches, he tells a certain story within each match, and it's not always the same exact story. But I think he's developed into one of like the greatest storytellers going today.
And definitely, ACH and Shane Strickland recently signed to NXT. I think they're in the break. Yeah, both of them are in the breakout tournament in NXT to go to take over Toronto. So they're getting a lot of spotlight on TV right now. Have you ever had the opportunity to speak with Shane or ACH and communicate with those two?
Yeah. I've spoke with them all the time. I've worked Strickland a couple times. It was in multi-man matches. First, it was me, him, and Paco at a Glory Pro show, and then I actually worked him and DJZ in the main event of First Wrestling's WrestlePalooza, which is an event around here that's held at First Avenue. And dude, it was just a blast. We like had a crazy match in front of probably like 1,500 people, and dude, it's a memory I'll never forget. It was great.
Now, PWG, I know you mentioned them earlier. You said you wanted to compete with them. The Battle of Los Angeles tournament is coming up. They've announced a few names. You know, they've announced A Kid, Bandito. Are you hoping to see your name pop up on that list on that PWG Twitter account one of these days?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. And Bola's looking pretty great this year. Actually, there's a lot of really cool dudes in the tournament. Like I'm a big fan of Bandito. A Kid's in it, who I've stepped in the ring with a couple of times. I'm really happy to see his name in it because he's definitely a good dude and like phenomenally talented. Jonathan Gresham's in it. Jonathan Gresham, I forgot to mention him earlier, but I think that's another dude that I really like to watch because the way he transitions and uses his size in certain ways is very different than what you see from anybody else today.
Definitely. And I know you recently had a big match for First. I know you mentioned First Wrestling. You guys had a big match. It was you, Angel Dorado versus the North, and Pentagon Junior and Phoenix. What was that like? I just know that match was ridiculous. What was that like?
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Like, first, no matter where I go, First Wrestling is probably going to be my home because that's Eric Cannon's promotion, and Eric Cannon kind of like, if it wasn't for Eric Cannon, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. Eric Cannon is definitely like taken me under his wing and helped guide me to certain places in wrestling today. And to be able to go out there in front of that many people with two of the top talents in the world, obviously the North current TNA Tag Team Champions, and then you have the Lucha Bros, not necessarily signed anywhere, but like you see them on like Impact
Everywhere.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see them absolutely everywhere. And to be able to hang in there with two of the best teams in the world, dude, it was awesome.
Are there any promotions that or any companies that you like to watch when you have some free time?
Yeah, I for sure like to watch PWG. I really like the stuff AAW. And I know that obviously it's just getting started,
Mm.
but I really like to watch that stuff. I think I more specifically watch certain wrestlers versus certain promotions.
All right. Okay. So
But
oh, you continue.
oh, sorry. There's a lot of promotions though that I like to. Another one I really like is Defy or PCW Ultra.
Mm-hmm. I say
Defy, like,
oh yeah, the five based out of Washington State, right?
yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you've seen it before, but like it's on like the production and everything for Defy. It just looks crazy. It looks like a movie because like it's like dark lighting and then there's like smoke rising,
Yeah. I was just about to say that. Like I see
lighting.
the smoke and stuff. Like you see the video. I see the videos all the time on their Twitter account. It looks like a movie production.
Yeah, dude,
Uh,
it
uh,
looks awesome.
I was gonna ask you, when you were coming up, just a wrestling fan, of course. Who were the guys that you used to watch, or what? I should ask you, what was your first wrestling experience? I should say outside of WWE, because I know a lot of people come up on WWE. But what was your first taste of wrestling outside of that, outside of the sports entertainment company?
Dude, I think it might have been Wrestling Society X.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I came across Wrestling Society X on YouTube, and like I was like mind blown by like the stuff that they were doing. People blowing up. And then you have Teddy Hart doing like crazy moonsaults and stuff, and all these like crazy innovative moves, dude. It drew me in. It was awesome. And then now being signed to MLW, I'm in the same locker room as a guy like Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart still can do all that crazy stuff at his age, and dude, it's just awesome.
I say, while going back to MLW, Have you had any opportunity or a chance to, communicate one on one or just have, a conversation with Court Bauer, like about what he expects from you, or is he happy with the work? Just speak about your relationship thus far that you've had with Court Bauer.
Yeah, dude. So Court's been super cool with me, like since day one, even before day one. Like they expressed interest. So I sent in like an application thing to do MLW initially, and like on their website there was a section, and I just applied or whatever. And then I got reached back out to saying, like, yeah, they've heard of me and they've kind of been keeping up with me, and they'd definitely like to bring me in. So I went in and I did the show, and I got offered a contract, and just like from the point where I got offered the contract and I signed, I just kind of hit the ground running. Like Mania week, I was in there with Ray Phoenix, and then the night after it was me and Ray Horace versus Pentagon Phoenix, and just right away the fact that they expressed that they believed in me and that they were going to push me and give me all this opportunity, it like really meant a lot to me, and I wanted to prove that I could hang in there with some of the best in the world, and that I am going to hopefully be one of the best in the world soon.
Yeah, see, I can understand that it probably feels good, or it does feel good having, people support you, and, those who you wrestle for, just have all that overwhelming support. Uh, well, I'm only a couple years older than you actually, so this is like, it's really good to see like a lot of young wrestlers, getting that opportunity to shine. Uh, Airwolf, is there anything that you want to plug? Merchandise, website, upcoming matches? I know you're going to be in action this Friday at Destination Milwaukee. The floor is yours.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to keep track of me, I'm on just about any social media at official Airwolf, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you want to support my merch, I have a pro wrestling tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/official Airwolf. Other than that, you can just follow me on any social media to keep track of where I'm going to be next. I'm trying to get out and travel all over and hit up as many places as I possibly can.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Promoters, you heard him. Ed Wolf is trying to get out there in Mexico, United Kingdom, Japan. He wants to be everywhere. He wants to get his name out there. Ed Wolf is making strides.